Hey guys, Beauty Steel here, back with another video, and it's Wednesday, so you know what that means? Another HoI Dev Diary. It's a bit of a small one, but let's take a look. Anyway, starting off with, ta-da! Scorched Earth, one of the enduring tactical practices of the Soviet defense during the German invasion. So yeah, we will be able to finally enact a policy of Scorched Earth as you withdraw into the heart of Russia and let the Germans walk through, well, pretty much devastated territory. And the paradox way of implementing this is by allowing you to completely decimate the railway system, maybe the infrastructure, but I think it's mostly focused on the railway system. There's a nice purple icon here. All the visuals you see are work in progress. This is pretty much just a QA thing, I think. But yeah, that is a plunger detonator, which means you press that button and suddenly your railways in the entire province will be destroyed. They will be reduced to, well, a completely destroyed level. They will go into your repair queue, but they will not repair on their own, as that would kind of defeat the purpose of the whole thing. That will still give you an overview of just what you've destroyed for the purpose of slowing the enemy down, but it will also allow you to click that button again and the railway will enter the proper repair queue and you can start building up again. Pretty useful if you've stopped the enemy before you thought you would, or if you're starting to retake territory, because you kind of need that railway to go in the other direction as well. Still, a very nice change. I'm excited for this. That will give Soviet players much more options for their defense other than the current defense of the Dnieper line. Yes, I like this. And yes, they had considered also doing this to the factories in a province, but it was considered to be too unbalanced. So railways is what we get for now, but cut railway is going to seriously hamper supply, and without supply, an army isn't going anywhere. So very interesting, very nice. Next up, it's a little more abstract, but the concept of preferred tactics. We talked about this before, how generals, field marshals will get a certain preference for tactics. Now, before this was purely set on a national level through your doctrines, but with a few changes in the upcoming release, this will also be distributed on a field marshal and general basis, which means as a country you can have a certain military doctrine where you prefer certain tactic be used by your generals, but as your field marshals and generals level up, get more experience and reach a level 5, they will be able to select their own personal preferred tactic. Now, you have the option of picking the same preferred tactic that you have on a national level, increasing the chance of that tactic being used even more. So it compiles from a national, field marshal and general level, so you can get like triple dip there. Be aware that if that's all you've got, your army sort of becomes a one-trick pony, and if the enemy can counter that tactic reliably, especially in multiplayer, you're gonna have a bad time. So this gives you a little bit more strategic depth, a few more tools in your toolbox. If you have a national doctrine but you have generals capable of deviating from that, that gives you something to work with. Very nice. I like having options. Even if this is a little abstract for most people, I like it. I mean, if you don't want to use it, don't use it. It won't get in the way of your playthrough. It just gives you more options. And as you can see here, skill 5 is required to pick a preferred tactic. And some of these tactics are unlocked through focuses and doctrines. I'm sorry, not focuses, just through doctrines. Kampfgruppe is required to unlock overwhelming fire. And it specifically counters the Japanese banzai charge. Okay, Sepp Dietrich isn't gonna stop any banzai charges, but at least they'll have the option now. And lastly, strategic redeployment. We've all wondered why the AI picks certain routes in the past when you're moving troops from one place to the other. Sometimes it just looks absurd, it makes no sense, it's going around. Why is it doing that? Well, Paradox realized this was a little bit stupid, and with the addition of railways, strategic redeployment has also been changed to use those railways. As you can see here, the armies in Moscow are trying to redeploy up here to the north. I guess this is somewhere under Arkhangelsk. Anyway, the armies are trying to redeploy there, and instead of just using strategic redeployment to follow the straight line there into the forest, they will follow the railway for as long as they can until they reach a point where the AI determines that from this point to my destination, it would be faster to use trucks than it would be to follow the rest of the railway there, and it will then go off the railway and head to where it's going. This should speed up redeployment in most cases, but it mostly makes redeployment make sense. Strategic redeployment is done and has been done by railway since the 19th century. The way it worked now made very little sense, where anywhere in the world you could get on a railroad, apparently, and just drive to and from the front. This way it becomes a little more realistic, and you'll have to think about where you want to group up your armies. Now, you can see here that it will not always visually make sense, because the army follows the railway, and then makes a short detour to another railway, then keeps going to its destination, instead of just going along this southern railway the entire time. I don't know why they're doing that. I guess it's the AI knows this is technically faster, even though it doesn't look pretty. Oh well. Anyway, this has been a short little dev diary, short but sweet, I'd say. I am very excited for the Scorched Earth tactics. All the other stuff is nice, but I'm not as excited for it. But Scorched Earth is making me want to play Russia defensively. I just want to see the fascists struggle as they try to make their way through the rubble of Mother Russia. Anyway, this has been me, Bitter Steel. If you like these videos, leave a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload more content. If you didn't like it, that's fine. Just hit that dislike button and tell me what I did wrong. And if you want to support the channel and help me do what I do, consider checking out the YouTube membership page. It is that join button down there next to the subscribe button. That will take you to the membership page. It has all the information you need. Anyway, this has been me, Bitter Steel. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.